Hello? Oh, I couldn't tell if it was working or not. Well, hello guys, and welcome back to Seduce Me to the Demon War of Erik's story. My contribute to you guys for helping me reach 500 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. So, let's jump right back into this, shall we? Why was I doing this? Why was I so accepting of this spirit? My body was moving on its own, but I was enjoying every minute of it. The orb followed along, matching each sway with one of its own. Soft laughter echoed from it once in a while, after every couple of steps I took. It seemed to enjoy my company, which in turn somehow made me happy.
Princess?
The orb gasped and hid behind me as I stepped... The orb gasped and hid behind me as I stopped dancing. I turned quickly to see Erik standing by my doorframe, with a confused but tired look on his face. Erik?
What are you doing out here, love?
I blushed, rubbing my hands together behind my back from embarrassment. I must have looked like a fool dancing in the yard in the middle of the night. I turned my head to look at the orb, but gasped in surprise when I realized that it had disappeared. What? Huh?
What's wrong?
I was beyond lost and confused. What was happening? What had just happened? I turned back to Erik to see him walking towards me. I crossed my arms, realizing how cold the night air was, and smiled meekly at Erik. I just wanted to get some fresh air, that's all.
While dancing by yourself?
I stared at Erik, not sure of what he meant. If he was watching, he would have seen the spirit dancing with me. A good relationship always begins with telling your person that you love the truth. You didn't see the orb that was dancing with me.
Huh? Orb?
Erik raised an eyebrow, obviously not understanding what I meant. Did he really not see it? It's true. There was a spirit here that looked like an orb, and I was dancing with it, not by myself. I knew I wasn't making sense. He didn't seem to believe me. Still, I didn't want to lie to him. He was going to be my husband soon, so we had to trust each other. If my reasons sounded stupid, fine, but at least it was the truth. Erik finally smiled and reached towards me before petting my head.
Did you have fun then?
Wait, he really did believe me? He treated me like a dog. I was entirely sure if he did, but from the look he gave me, he was willing to accept my answer either way. Good doggy, good. Erik gently reached out and took one of my hands, placing his other hand on my waist. I looked up at him to see his lips curve into a smile, playful smirk.
Would you mind if I dance with you then, princess?
Oh, it just reminds me of the sort of Beauty and the Beast scene with Belle. My face turned red at his question, but I smiled and nodded. I liked dancing with him. I tightened my hand over Erik, straightening up and leaning against his chest, ready to dance. And on this sort of scene, I kind of wish there was an image right now for that. Erik chuckled softly before leading me into a slow but elegant waltz around the backyard. I felt like I needed to thank the spirit later for giving me yet another wonderful memory with Erik. He led me around the backyard as if we were at a real ball. The burn served as a brilliant crystal chandelier, and the wind became our music. Eventually, however, we had to go back inside. The night was cold, and it was very late. I didn't want the night to end, though. Erik watching as we walked up the stairs to the bedroom, my heart began to flutter even more, and a soft heat began to burn in my core. He was not only charming, but he was handsome, and definitely knew what buttons to press to make me feel amazing. It didn't matter that he was an incubus. I really had fallen in love with him, and was both romantically and sexually attracted to him. Though, did I really want to pursue my desire right now? We did just stop dancing. Go for it! The burning in my core wasn't going to go away. As Erik and I approached our room, I quickly pulled his arms and turned him around to face me.
What?
Before he could finish his sentence, I jumped up and wrapped my arms and legs around him, kissing him deeply. Instinctively, he circled his arms around me to support me, but he stared in shock at my eagerness. Within seconds, he melted into the kiss and panted against my lips, making me moan in reply at the sound. He tightened his grip around me as he walked backwards towards the bed. When his legs hit the side of the mattress, he sat down and allowed his hands to roam my back. I pulled away from the kiss ever so slowly, enjoying every moment that I was still connected to his lips. Before letting out a small sigh, I was pretty sure I had made myself clear, but I gave him a softly spoken demand. I don't want to go to bed yet. Erik stared up at me before licking his lips and slowly running his hands under my shirt and up my back. Tingles shot up my spine as his fingers ran over my bare skin, a shudder moan escaping my lips.
As my princess commands.
I felt Erik gently lift my shirt up, and I lifted my arms for him to fully remove it from my body before he tossed it to the side. The cool air hitting my skin made me shudder at Erik, pulled me back in for another heated kiss. Damn his hands for memorizing my body. He knew what spots to caress, making me buckle my hips against his and tighten my hold on him. When I felt his smirk against my mouth, I softly bit onto his lower lip, telling him silently not to play with me. I felt the warm sensation of his enthrallment invade my body, causing me to cuddle closer against his chest and softly grind my hips against his in need. His enthrallment was part of our foreplay, adding 10 times more pleasure to our sex. I knew that he poured every ounce of his love for me into our lovemaking. Every time we had sex was just another confession of true love between us. It wasn't just a feed hunger and desire. It became one of many ways we showed our love to each other. It was only a benefit that he was an incubus, a natural master of sex. Every touch made me tremble. Every kiss on my skin made me swoon and melt in his arms. He knew how to make me moan, how to make me crave him, how to make me shiver with ecstasy. I had been surprised to learn I was his first and his only with how talented he was. Soon it wasn't just my shirt that was removed from my body. Every article of clothing he had and I wore ended up scattered throughout the room, unnoticed and uncared for. The only thing we cared about was each other and the pleasure we gave each other on our bed. We made sweet and passionate love, rocking to the rhythm of our hearts and our desires for each other. Every moan I made, he matched in kind. Every breath I took, Erik found a way to make it heavier and hotter. My nails and fingers dug into his shoulders and back in pure ecstasy as he continued to drive me into me over and over with his passionate and love, pulling me higher and higher towards my limit. I could only tighten my legs around him, pull him to more heated kisses, moans, his lips, and desires. When we both apexed, it was a blissful and fierce ride towards a peaceful and loving wave washing over both of our bodies. Lost in my pleasure, I could only cuddle into Erik's arm as he wrapped them around me and pulled me against his chest, his feather-like kisses peppered over my forehead, making me smile.
Good night, my princess. I love you.
I love you too, Erik. I could only close my eyes and relished the warmth Erik gave me as I let my mind escape into dreamland. To my surprise, the child didn't return. I was a bit saddened, but I didn't let my thoughts linger on it any longer. I had a peaceful dream with Erik, wrapped around me all through the remainder of the night. As the morning came, however, the other incubi essentially kidnapped their brother, despite my minor protests, knowing that we had to work to do on the wedding. The brothers were relentless.
We're just stealing him for a bit. We'll return him later.
But we have to...
Everything will be alright. You can finish working on your dress while we keep him out of the house.
I mean, yeah, but...
You could survive a day without your love slave. You're marrying him, after all. It's not like he'll be gone forever.
Everything will be all right, Princess, I promise. As soon as we're done with whatever they want to do, then I'll come straight home.
Okay, I love you. I could barely make out him saying I love you too, as he was dragged away by his brothers. As the front door closed, I could hear Erik being thrown over someone's shoulder, probably Sam's. Like a doggone sack of potatoes. Whoosh! I sighed before looking around the mansion. Since I was indeed alone, I had the chance to try and find that spirit again. Why had it run away the first time? I quickly rushed to the backyard, looking around it. It was much brighter yet, but perhaps the spirit was still there. Despite not being able to find it, I scurried the entire mansion in hopes of meeting the orb again. It almost became a game of hide and seek, only I didn't know if the orb was hiding or was gone. After a straight hour of looking around, I gave up. The orb was nowhere to be found, and I was certain I wouldn't meet it again. I could only let out a sigh at the thought, but I shook my head to forget about it at last. It had given me a moment with my loves, so I was grateful. I went back into my room and flopped onto my bed, not really sure what to do. I could have organized what I was going to wear with my dress, but I really didn't want to pull my dress out of the garment bag it was in. Staring at the ceiling, I felt my eyelids slowly getting heavy, and soon I was letting my sudden drowsiness take hold of me. What was happening? Why did I feel like sleeping? It was close to noon, or was it past noon? I somehow couldn't remember anymore. I allowed myself to fall asleep, blaming the search and the wedding stress that lingered in my mind for tiring me out. My body floated in the darkness, met once again by a soft, peaceful lullaby. This nap was perfect, and I definitely deserved it. My body felt comfortable, and my thoughts were lulled into a quiet hum that accompanied the lullaby in the air. It's a good lullaby. Our music box play. It's kind of pretty. The only thing that would have made it better was Erik. As if my dream wanted to please me, an image of Erik appeared in my mind. He smiled, his heart-pulling smirk at me, as I felt myself become warm and fuzzy just from his gaze. As he floated over to me, I became entranced in his eyes. My voice wouldn't come out, despite wanting to say his name, but I wrapped my arms around his neck and pulled him close to me. He leaned into my embrace, ghosting his lips over mine teasingly. Was Dream Erik trying to seduce me in my own dreams? I pressed forward, wanting to kiss him. We both didn't make a sound, but let our kiss relay our love for each other between our lips. My heart pounded in my chest as he wrapped his arms around my waist and pulled me even closer to him. It was strange. He felt so real in my arms. I combed my fingers through my hair, feeling the pink copper strands on top of his head. Yet this was a dream. I knew it was a dream. His arms gently ran along my back and waist, not daring to go below it, but making wonderful shivers run up my spine with each stroke. I really liked this dream, and tightened my hold on Erik, letting him know that I enjoyed his touch. Erik eventually pulled away from the kiss and smiled down at me, running a hand over my hair and caressing my cheek. I stared up at him lovingly, feeling a soft swell in my lips from the kiss we had shared. What I didn't expect was him slowly leaning down and planting a soft kiss over my chest, just over where my heart was. I stared, unsure of why he did such a thing. As my heart began to feel warm and lighter, I felt a silent sigh out of my throat, feeling the pleasure of its sensation. Erik slowly backed away and disappeared, but I continued to feel the warmth over my heart, sweetly emanating through my veins, like a slow adrenaline rush. What was happening to me? Tingles ran across every nerve in my body, making me shiver in delight. Whatever this was, I liked it. Soon, the warmth lulled me into a peaceful hum, and I curled into myself, wrapping my arms around my body. From the comfort it brought, I felt at peace, while my body felt like it was embracing the warmth enveloping it. It was strange, but I accepted the blissful feeling. Duh! What? Gah! From the darkness, dark laughter invaded the air, breaking the lullaby and making a sudden cold feeling wash over my skin. Before I could react, however, a large and deep pain invaded my chest, almost like a sword stabbing all the way through my body. I could not see anything of the sort as I looked down at my chest, but my hands tightened over where the pain had erupted from. What was happening? I coughed, feeling blood splash out of my mouth and drip down my lips. I gasped for air, disgusted at the coppery taste in my mouth, but I was unable to break out of the illusion. I needed to wake up. The stabbing pain ripped through my insides as if the invisible blade in my chest unsheathed itself from my torso, and I felt a second stab through my stomach, more blush gushing from my mouth. Someone help me! I felt my body slowly start to shut down. Was I dying in my own dream? Why couldn't I wake up? Cold waves ran through my nerves, numbing my body as if I was indeed slowly dying. As blood dripped from my chin, I felt lightheaded in the darkness. But an almost violent shake broke me from my dream, forcing me to physically open my eyes.
Princess!
I gasped for air, no longer able to taste blood or feel pain. I was back in my room, staring at Erik's concerned face as he held my shoulders. I shuddered from the experience, unable to forget the feeling of being stabbed in my own dream. Erik, however, had saved me.
Love, what happened? You were thrashing around and...
I didn't let him finish. I grabbed Erik's body and slammed myself into his chest, happy to no longer be trapped in the dream and thankful that he woke me from it. Erik wrapped his arms around me and gently rubbed my back, soothing me as I began to cry into his shoulder.
Did you have a nightmare?
It was terrible. I was being attacked by something in the darkness. I couldn't do anything about it.
Shh. It's okay now. You're safe. I'm right here.
I could only nod as Erik rocked me back and forth, comforting me. It may have been a dream, but I was still mortified by it. It seemed almost too real to be just a dream. I didn't want to think about it anymore. I didn't want to remember the dream, especially how horrible it was. I was supposed to be getting mentally ready for my wedding, not having nightmares about dying. Erik kissed over my head and face, trying to soothe my sadness. He wiped away my tears and continued to hold me close until I was calm and relaxed. I tried to reassure myself that it was a dream. It was just a stupid dream. Just a nightmare. Erik gently pulled away, not releasing me from his arms, and looked down at me with a soft frown.
I'm sorry that I left. I should have been here, making sure that you had good dreams.
I shook my head. Erik needed to spend time with his brothers. It was important enough to him that he let himself be dragged away by them. No. It's all right. I'll be fine.
Are you sure, Princess?
Yeah, I'm sure. I had to shake this off. I didn't know what was going on, but now Erik was here and could be with me in case anything else happened. After I had finally calmed down, Erik told me about what the boys had done. They took Erik to a cafe deep in downtown Chicago, just wanting to have a brother-to-brother talk with him. I was happy he got to spend time with him, but Erik had to practically rush home to return to me. The dream did not appear again that night. Erik used his powers to enter my dream and keep me safe from anything that tried to hurt me, and thankfully nothing did. However, there was a strange feeling in my gut that didn't sit right with me. For some reason, Erik's comfort didn't make me feel okay. It was as if I didn't want him to be in my dreams. My heart knew this was a problem, but I was unsure of how to respond to this new feeling. Slowly, as the days passed by and our wedding approached, the feeling became more aggressive. Soon I was becoming irritated more easily. I became angry at the smallest things, the steps he took, the things he'd wear, the look he gave me, or what I assumed he gave me. No, Erik, I don't want to do anything right now.
Love, I didn't say any.
You're looking at me with those sex eyes again.
Sex eyes? I swear, I wasn't doing anything of the sort.
You're doing it now! I couldn't control the words that were flying out of my mouth. Something was wrong, but I continued to speak cruelly towards Erik. My heart was at odds with my mind, and I didn't know why I was doing it, but I continued my barrage.
Love, what is going on?
What's going on? You are what's...
I'm sorry.
I felt Erik's enthrallment take over my body, forcing me to go weak in the knees and mule out in surprise. My mind stopped thinking about attacking Erik. My heart felt entirely relieved that the urge was gone. Erik gently wrapped his arms around me, being sure to keep his arms around my shoulders, and rocked with me, trying to calm me down.
Love, are you having doubts?
No, I'm not. I don't know what I...
You swear you're not having doubts about us?
I promise. I was able to speak the truth under his spell. It was strange. It was like I was under a curse when I wasn't under his enthrallment. Somehow despising every little thing Erik did, yet I knew it wasn't true. I loved everything about him, but my mind wouldn't agree. I gripped Erik's shirt, wanting to stay close and show my true feelings for him.
Listen to me, okay? I love you so much. If you have any doubts on us getting married, then please just tell me. I don't know what's going on in your beautiful head.
I love you too. I really, really do. I don't know what's happening to me. It made no sense. Why did I despise Erik, yet love him? My mind, heart, and body were at odds with each other, and I wasn't sure what to do. And with that, guys, I'm going to leave this episode here, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, you can always subscribe. You can always drop me a line down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Talk to you guys later. He was indeed a demon. I adored him with every ounce of my being, and I was about to be married to him in the week ahead. I couldn't have been more nervous and excited about the whole ordeal. Still, the lullaby that floated in my dreams kept... Why would I could want him dead? It was said he sleeps the sleep of the dead. You'll not get another word out of him, I fear. The Rennies. I, a woman in white, in and out the window quicker than a devil rat. No one saw her but danced. Who was she? Her name is Q. Tensor says she's leader of the Society of the Jade Temple. Before he could finish his sentence, I jumped up and wrapped my arms and legs around him, kissing him deeply, instinctively, oh my god, instinctively, really? When am I gonna get these friggin' words right? Instinctively, he circled his arms around me to support me, but he started. Oh my god, he started. He didn't stare. He started. Ah! Instinctively, he circled his arms around me to support me, but he started to shock at my ear. Oh my god, I can't read this fucking sentence. La 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 la. Somebody rewind the tape, erase it, and let's start this shit again, shall we? Soon the warmth lulled me into a peaceful hum, and I curled into myself, wrapping my arms around my body. From the comfort it brought, I felt at peace while